You're listening to episode 127 of Lifestyle Locker Radio with Dr. Eric and Sabrina Zielinski.
Your hunger cravings will fade away, your taste buds will change, your physiology will start to shift, and you will develop lifestyle behaviors that will last a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Dr. Josh Hant, and welcome to Lifestyle Locker Radio, where we help you create an awesome life and lifestyle. From nutrition to fitness, mindfulness to peak performance, and relationships to money mindset, we bring you on an amazing journey to help you unleash your human potential. So here's a little bit about our guest today. The author of the National Bestseller, The Healing Power of Essential Oils, Dr. Eric Zielinski has pioneered natural living and biblical health education since 2003. Knowing what it's like to be sick from a young age and having recovered from several chronic diseases in his early 20s, he has been on a mission to share the evidence-based approach to natural living that empowered him to regain control of his health with the world. Trained as an aromatherapist, public health researcher, and chiropractor, Dr. Z is an accomplished researcher with several publications and conference proceedings. Sabrina Zielinski is a home birth mom of 4 and a natural health guru. The mastermind behind the allergy-friendly food recipes and DIY remedies featured on their website, she's known as Mama Z to many mamas who are looking for natural ways to take care of their families. As a certified group fitness instructor, health coach, and beauty pageant trainer, Sabrina's vast background in natural living has helped her empower thousands of women to reach their true potential. Dr. Z and Mama Z started their online ministry in 2014 with drericz.com to help people learn how to use natural remedies like essential oils safely and effectively. Now with more than 6 million visitors every year, it has rapidly become the #1 source for biblical health and non-branded essential oils education online. The Z's live in Atlanta with their 4 children. So without further ado, here is Dr. and Mama Z. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lifestyle Locker Radio. We have a returning guest, and he actually brought someone with him. We have Dr. Z and Mama Z. Welcome back.
Josh, thank you, Doc. So excited to be back, and I brought my better half with me this time.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I was like, how are we going to one-up that last episode? Because I know it was a favorite episode, right? My tribe, your tribe. I'm like, well, the only way I know how to one-up anything is bring Mama Z around.
You better believe it. You know, we've had such a really cool pre-chat, and I'm super excited because both of you are up to amazing things before, well before I even met you the first time. You're up to big and huge things, with the healing power of essential oils, this book, the website. I mean, you guys are, or I hate to say guys, but you both are unbelievable. Like in the natural health world, you're all over the place. And I think that's very important. So what are you both up to now? There's an evolution happening.
Well, we're calling it the year of the Mama Z. And I gotta, Sabrina's been really, my heart goes out, and I have just ultimate respect for moms, nursing moms, working moms, stay-at-home moms, just moms in general. And she's been pregnant or nursing basically for 10 years.
Actually 11 now. 11.
And she put up with me. And, it was 9 years ago this month. 9 years ago, almost to the day. I actually just celebrated my 39th birthday a couple days ago. And 9 years ago, I started chiropractic college. And that was a 5-year journey through research school and getting that done, and then starting this online thing. And I look back and I'm like, Sabrina was just there supporting every step of the way and being the rock that I needed. And I'm like, we need to feature all of what she does. And she does so much: cooking, gardening, exercise. And so we changed our website name to naturallivingfamily.com, which is totally what we're all about. We're side by side working together. She's got 5 new classes coming out and all this stuff just to help people live this natural living way. And it culminates with our new book, The Essential Oils Diet, which publishes May 7th. And it's co-authored by her and I, and I'll leave it to her because this is so special because, the first book was an instant national bestseller. It was like no one expected it. Like it was like, boom, 18,000 copies sold by the time the book published, and then hit all the bestseller lists and all the good things. And I told my agent, because they're like, okay, what's next? The publisher wants another book deal. I'm like, don't even give me a contract without my wife's name on it.
And I was so embarrassed.
She was mortified.
I literally was pink, and thank God it wasn't Zoom, because literally when he said it, because he said, well, what if they don't want you? Because, I did a lot of the recipes in the first book, and I said, well, I'll just do the same thing that I did last time, and I'll just do the recipes. And when he said that, like, it came out of left field. I did not know he was going to say that. And I was like, pink, literally pink.
Well, you were a contributor from the beginning.
She was. And the thing about it, they didn't want her at first because she wasn't the doctor, right? She didn't have the credentials. And I'll tell you, though, a lot of podcasters, no, we don't want to interview your wife. We want to interview you. And I'm like, you guys don't get it. And here's, there's so many funny stories about this. But once someone gets Sabrina, like we actually did an interview a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to name who we did. I kid you not. It was an interview like this. And she only asked Sabrina questions. I actually left about 15 minutes into the interview because she like completely ignored me. She was like engrossed in Sabrina. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. You want to schedule an interview with you? And I'm like, once people like hear Sabrina, they're like, okay, we're done with you, Eric. Let's hear Sabrina. So anyway, this is the year of the Mama Z.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. It's kind of like full circle coming back to you and your show because you're one of the first podcasts we did after my book. And so anyway, I love you, man. Love your work. And I'm glad to introduce my wifey Pooh to your tribe.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have her,
Yay.
like we pre-show, we were talking about, wow, we all have so much in common.
Yeah. We do. I mean, it's so fun. I love that you love, high level people to have a coach.
Yes.
And all of that stuff. It's so important, in all the things that we do. I love every part of what you do just to help people reach their optimum. And I think that's so important.
Well, yes. So let's dive in because the first episode we heard all about Dr. Z, all of his stuff. So let's hear a little bit of your story. What's your background? Why are you so like amazing now? Well, I'm sure you're amazing before, but like what's going on here? Like this is
suck, but now
no. I never said that. I know.
No. It was the oils. There's this awesome oil she uses.
Ooh, tell me about no.
Oh man, we need to bottle that now. So many years ago, I just started reading a lot of things. I had my face all burned off, actually as a teenager, and
a chemical burn,
just over the counter products completely burned my skin off. And I started researching about skin and about oils. And so when I was in 7th, 8th grade, my mom's best friend, who was an Ojibwa Indian, gave me my first essential oil kit. And so I started incorporating that, and within 6 months actually healed my face and all the burns on my face.
Yeah. So I'll pause for 1 second. So for those of you that are listening only at this point, I'm looking at her. You have zero. I mean, I have HD right here. You have zero idea she would have had a chemical burn on her face.
Well, and people told me later that actually probably helped like aging process, because I had to stay out of the sun. I had to protect my skin more. I had to do other things. And so it actually made me look younger, which, well, I mean, it was a horrible thing at the time, but thank God that, I did heal. But I just saw like the healing power of essential oils. And so a lot of times when we'd have things go on in our health, even though my dad was more medically minded, we'd always call my mom's best friend, Mrs. B, and we would ask her, what kind of herb do you have, or tea, or this or that. So it kind of built that other side of the fence. And I saw how things really worked. But later on in life, because I was plagued with digestive issues, and later on in life, I was on so many different medicines. I was taking 10 different prescription drugs, and ended up, I knew I was supposed to be free and not on these things, and ended up doing a 10-day water fast and started changing my lifestyle. And, I grew up, being a high-level athlete and listening to every, to Tony Robbins and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and all of these like high level people, and just loved all of that teaching. But what I didn't have in my life was Dr. Z. And what I needed was the other component, because I knew that certain foods were really affecting my stomach, but I didn't know all about inflammatory foods and that kind of thing. And so he came into my life just at the right moment, in order to really fill that gap. And when I met him, he only made things that were green or brown, and they were super healthy. But like, my mom is a culinary herbalist, and she makes beautiful food, even though it wasn't as healthy. So I was able to incorporate his knowledge with our family's recipes to really create an anti-inflammatory lifestyle that we really use as an everyday practice for our family.
So both good for you and looks good too.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I was a more, I'm eating to live, not living to eat kind of person. And I had
You're looking at him.
Yeah, and I literally remember, because I'm Sicilian, and I remember mourning the death of my favorite bread and lasagna. I'm like, I'm never going to eat this again. It's all right. And crying. And then I met Sabrina, and like, lo and behold, she's coming out with her gluten-free Italian cooking class, and she's learned how to convert the gnocchis and the breads and the pastas and all the stuff good and healthy. I'm like, oh, yes. So it was wonderful. It was a match made in heaven. We've been able to encourage each other along that way since we've been married now almost 13 years.
Yeah.
So as an athlete background and as a, chiropractic research or essential oil like guru background, this was a neat fix, because I'm sure you were able to both bounce off each other and learn quite a bit from each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yep. And the funny thing too is that, like people that are so like high energy together, like can literally be explosive or it can be amazing. And so being able to like turn and harness our energies, because we both have different strengths, and then really incorporate that yin and yang together to make and create things together has been super awesome, because he is so good at certain things that I'm not as good at. And so to be able to understand,
like what? Really? You don't say that enough.
Well, it's kind of like the stay in your lane type of thing. Like he is so good at different ways of looking and thinking at things, and I'm like the get in there person and get her done as well. And he's you're just a machine, and it's kind of cool because both of our just backgrounds together kind of have made it fun to like just to see what can happen. Like and like where I'm strong, like I get up at 5 o'clock or earlier. I get up usually at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I work out really early, and I'm pumping. But like he is more of like a night person. So like, during our masterclass when we launched that, he worked 40 hours straight, and just to make sure it was perfect and all of the I's were dotted and T's were crossed and all that stuff. So like having that passion and that drive is so important.
That's pretty 40 hours straight.
I literally found him asleep on the floor of my closet on his computer.
Listen,
and
as you both know this,
carpet. It was soft carpet.
People on a mission.
Yes.
We push hard.
Right. And, I really feel like all of us are here on this earth for a purpose.
Yep.
And when you find what that passion and purpose is, and you're able to put all of your energy toward it and what your sole purpose is on this planet that God has you for, then everything comes together, and you are able to not only just like flow together because both of us are on that mission together, but you have a teammate, and it's not like you're doing it alone.
Yeah. So with this crazy cool couple, I have power health couple I have in front of me from the first book. Now we have the essential oil diet come out, but you mentioned master classes, right? So we have this new book coming out, which is probably going to just automatically be a national bestseller or international bestseller. I'm assuming the way you two are. I mean, the vibrational energy is coming out of both of you is going to explode this.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah. In all seriousness, though, so the master classes are things that you're doing online or in person. I want people to be able to find this.
Yeah, they're online. Yeah, we have an essential oils for abundant living masterclass. And, the easiest thing is for people that really want to get plugged in is go to naturallivingfamily.com. And there are ways that you could join our newsletter, or you'll see little advertisements or things about the masterclass. Sabrina did this toxic-free healthy home makeover where she walked people through our kitchen, pantry, laundry room, bathroom, and garden, how we've detoxed it. And she did her organic gardening masterclass and these 2 cooking classes coming up and exercise. Like we're just in a really fun creative space and a production space. We have a great team. We're super blessed with a great support, and we know what our community is looking for, and it's a lot of the same stuff. People want to eat healthy, live healthy. They need some guidance. They want to garden or do non-toxic landscaping. Even people that live in apartments in New York, you could still do tower gardens and windowsill gardens. Like there's a lot of cool things people want to incorporate, and I mean, Sabrina's a wealth of information. So it's really just kind of like giving her free reign. I had the free reign in the essential oil space for the last 4 or 5 years. So now it's her time in the natural living space. It's kind of been fun for me just to sit back and watch her do her thing. And, it's been wild.
Well, and the cool thing is that everything is incorporated in the essential oils diet. So like if people are just learning about us and pick up the essential oils diet book, who knows? They might be interested in gardening and want to have a deeper look.
Yep.
They might be interested in some of the recipes that are related to, allergy-friendly Italian or salads class because they're just tired of the same old thing. And so you can incorporate a lot of different things all within that. So we're here to stay and really like nurture people because I've been teaching these classes locally for so many years that I remember it was like a dream of mine to like someday like put it on camera so other people could enjoy it other than just being in, our house or our backyard. And so this has kind of been the culmination of a lot of things, which has been very cool.
Yeah, it seems like almost we're taking like a 50,000 foot view of what it takes to have a healthy life. And I mean, it's also, we're talking about like detoxing your pantry and your garden, which I think are essential. I mean, really, really important. What about family life? Do you go against any of that?
Yes, I love getting into that. So it's really important to have balance, and it's really important to hold a standard with your children, with their diet, with everything. And we try to do that with even
our podcast.
With our podcast.
Yeah, see, that's been the vehicle, our Natural Living Family podcast. That's where we actually stopped talking a lot about the step-by-step. We don't really cover oils. We don't cover a lot of the recipes. We give tips here and there, but that's where we really have been pouring into our lifestyle, our family. And as more people come to us and they're like, wow, we want to learn more. I could already see raising healthy kids and, Bible health studies and just things that are really more passion projects for us that are outside of the whole quote health thing. But you mentioned, like family. It's so important.
Well, and because we travel with our kids, we travel with a food suitcase if we're on an airplane. We travel with a go bag. Like we have certain things that we don't sacrifice the exact way that we live because like this is why we're here. And we're not going to, sacrifice all the years that we've put into our health. And I think that's so easy to do when your business is going and all those other things. So just really keeping balance throughout the family, balance with our relationship and balance with our business.
I think the congruency that you have also has helped both of you, rise to the top, if that makes sense. People are finding you because you're not the person that's saying, oh, you use these essential oils to do X, Y, Z. And then they see you going to like a Walmart and getting essential oil, right? Like,
it's funny.
Congruency is important.
So we're at Whole Foods. We actually just went to Orlando for spring break and we love Disney. We got season passes, right? The kids love it.
And we always do work there while we're there, of course.
So we're at Whole Foods getting our food, and I see Sabrina with, I kid you not, like 5 women around her teaching a little like mini class on dairy-free, soy-free cheese. And what was it? Like what brand of cheese?
It was the Bio Life brand, which is a coconut oil-based cheese. And
interesting.
It's a vegan cheese, 100%. And it's a very clean,
but how did it even happen? Like I'm shopping and next thing you know, she's teaching 5 women because we just did a shopping tour. That's so when people go to essentialoilsdiet.com, they buy the book. We give them a whole sweet bonus package, like a whole hour of Sabrina showing how she did the exercise from the book. And we have a shopping tour and all kinds of different videos. And I'm thinking, like, you're doing a shopping tour. Like, how does this happen?
On vacation.
It is our passion.
It's what we do.
And like this one guy at the health food store, he thought I worked there. And so he followed me around the store. He thought maybe I was putting things on the shelf or something. And
he's like, where do I find this?
Yeah, he kept asking. And I told him, because I'm always like, okay, well, that's aisle 4, halfway down on the right side. And, because I memorize the stores when I go shopping. And so it's just it's a passion for me. We're health food store junkies. And, doesn't matter where we are able to make home the same way we do at our house.
Let me give you a pro tip for life for those of you listening. When you do what you love and love what you do, you stop working. And we've been living this way and doing this for 15 years, independently. And then when we got married 13 years ago, and it is just a huge blessing and an honor to actually do this for a living now, because we were doing this for free. And so if you could find a way to monetize your passion that is, to me, one of the secrets to life and secrets to success. And I see you done this, Doc, and your father, and just all the friends and family that we have that do this kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's like we're who we are, as unashamedly as we could be. And, for better or for worse, people, So anyway, I love that about you as well, because you're you. And that's the secret to life.
Yeah, I think, but just with that congruency is so cool. Because just listening to the conversations now knowing on vacation, I'm going to go, I think my wife and I don't have any kids. I would plan a trip to Disney so I can do the Whole Foods store.
Oh my gosh. And this Whole Foods that they have in Orlando is amazing.
Yeah,
it really is. They have so many good like local vendors, and I always like to see what people do locally and then look at the recipes and like come up with my own version of them. So it's a good place to get ideas.
Very cool. Very cool. So with this book, you use the word diet in the book, and pre-conversation, we were talking like, well, it's not just about eating, right? It's a lifestyle shift. Yeah.
Yeah. And the literal translation of diet is the foods that you eat. It's a collection of foods. And somehow, and I use the word, I want to be careful, but the word diet has been bastardized to create a notion of something made to be broken. And most diet plans out there have cheat days instilled in them. And they're very restrictive, and they're for temporary. And no, that's not what diet is. And so the essential oils diet could also be named the essential oils lifestyle, or just the essential lifestyle, or just a way to live that's sustainable, and that's healthy, and that's life-giving, and that's disease-preventing and disease-treating. And so that's really what this is that so many people, and we're so blessed by all of you that have listened to us or followed us online, we've categorized and cataloged a lot of your questions, and we've seen a trend that people are looking at really basic stuff. Like, Josh, can't tell you how many people that are just confused. Like, can I eat apples again? Like, they're confused.
Yeah.
Are there too many carbs? And like, where did apples become bad for you along our timeline of human development?
Yeah.
And what about meat? And what about grains? And what about, exercise? And there's so much, because we're in the internet renaissance, as I call it. There's so much information out there that people are just confused on how to live. And so this book is getting us back to the basics. Let's learn how to eat again, how to exercise, how to live, how to detox, how to live a lifestyle that is healthy, promoting, metabolism boosting, and fat burning, so to speak, for those people that need to lose weight. But what about if you need to gain weight? We cover that too. So there's a lot of different things.
Right. We don't get on the scale. This is the thing.
Yeah, that's
like
the key.
we had my best friend came to stay with us, and she was really starting the plan, and she was starting to take her health seriously, and she's lost over 30 inches and over 30 pounds of weight. But the first day she got here, she's like, "Where's your scale?" And I was like, "Do we have a scale?" I said, and we found it. It was in the boys' bathroom holding up the toilet brush. So and I think it said it was 40 pounds on there. And I was like, I don't think it really works. I said, it's not about that. It's not about watching the scale, because we want you to focus on being healthy and not be bound by what the scale is going to tell you, because the scale lies, and we just don't do that. We don't get on there. Food freedom.
As a culture, we're obsessed with carbs, proteins, fats, and calories. And most people don't recognize that, yes, you might be eating within a certain number limit, but what are the quality of ingredients that you're consuming?
Exactly.
And we have found, and I'm telling you something, we have found that irrespective of what the nutrition label says, if you just really focus on eating good, clean ingredients, everything will line up. And it might take a little bit of time. If you need to lose 100 pounds, give yourself several months. We're not looking at a month, because it took you several years to get in that place, right? Same thing with cancer. That's a lifestyle disease. It's taken several years of toxic burden and overload and sometimes abuse to the body to get cancer. It'll take some time to get out of that. But, one of the core concepts that we're trying to teach people is this research, and I stress this, research proven number that it takes on average 66 days to develop a habit. Now, I don't know, and I kind of look back. It's been like this 50-year myth that people are saying, it takes 3 weeks, 21 days to develop a habit. I don't know who invented that, but research has gone exhaustive. and it's been proven it takes on average about 2 months for most people, right? So we have people go through a 2-month plan that we're walking them through, like, look, you just trust us, walk through the next 2 months with us. You will reset your metabolism, your hunger cravings will fade away, your taste buds will change, your physiology will start to shift, and you will develop lifestyle behaviors that will last a lifetime. And like I shared, I'm pretty sure I shared this last time we chatted, I come from a very abusive environment where not only was I a victim of it, but I victimized myself with alcoholism, drug abuse, smoking, and all that. I'm not tempted to go back to that stuff again. I'm not. And there's never a time when I wake up like, oh, I wish I can do cocaine today. I mean, that was part of my life. You know what I mean?
I'm just like,
no, I know, but it's like,
Yeah.
duh. But I also don't wake up in the morning and be like, hey, I want to go on a sugar bender.
No, totally.
I know you're not tempted. Like when you live a certain life, the temptation, the tastes just leave you. And I hunger and I crave good, healthy things. And so we've created adaptions. Like I just had my organic, naturally sweetened lemon cake that Sabrina made with stevia and, some good, healthy, gluten-free treats and yumminess. And, we want to teach people you can have your quote gluten-free cake and eat it too,
Yeah. It's neat. You mentioned a couple things. You mentioned the word detox.
Oh yes.
And I think that's a big word now. And I'm finding that detox doesn't necessarily only mean the physical part of the body, right? We can have the stuff that between the 5 inches in between our ears needs to be detoxed as well, big time.
It's mind, soul, and body.
Yep.
And we need to live a life of detox. Yep. We need to live in forgiveness towards people. Yes. And because certain things will affect the body. And one of the things that we found, with dealing even with my best friend, she was kind of going through sugar detox, and it was no joke, and what she found was, and one thing I make our challengers, we call them, do is come up with a book of quotes or Bible scriptures or things that motivate them and make a little book out of it. And I show them how to do it. Yep. And what she found was every time she was going for food, she was dealing with an emotion or she was dealing with a thought and she was stuffing it down with food. This is her words. And she found that meditating on these other things, these things that motivated her, literally would change exactly what she was doing and thinking. And she had to get the mind fixed right, before she could fix her body. But then when she started, then pounds just melted off. And things started changing. So it is a total mind, body, and soul thing in order to really change your lifestyle and love yourself enough that you're worth it, because we're all called here for a purpose. And if you're not living your purpose because you're stuck over here in this area that you're just trying to live day by day, then you're not going to be able to do the things that you're called to do on this planet.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that we get so I don't even know how to say it. We get so shoved to a side by, the food affects our mind that we're eating. Right. It's so bad, so crappy. And I think our thought processes shift from that point on. Even if, you mentioned abuse, that's a whole other world.
Well, there is a level, there's a chapter in our book called The Keys to an Abundant Life. And we have what we call the 12-step detox. And it's all about detoxing you at a very deep emotional level. And one thing I'm convinced of is that, and especially coming as a recovering addict and recovering smoker, I'll tell you, I don't know anybody. I really don't know anybody that is a habitual smoker or does anything they know is really bad for them that is in a state of self-love. There is an element of self-loathing. There is a lot of depression and anxiety and stress. There's an element where I just remember having a point in my life where I was clinically depressed. I really battled suicidal thoughts. And I just remember smoking and doing drugs thinking, I don't care. And if I can give myself a little bit of feeling good, okay. And I want to challenge people who right now know that you are eating something or doing something that isn't good for you. That is a form of self-hate. And until you find yourself at a point where you can, number one, according to our 12-step detox program, number one is you need to forgive. And whoever you need to first forgive yourself, love yourself, and then let go of all the people that have hurt or abused or whatever, ridiculed you along your life. Because, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to be hurt. And so that is at the core of just our lifestyle, of our freedom, is realizing we're worth it. I'm worth it. I love myself. And when I fell in love with myself is really when my life changed. And through me, that was a spiritual transformation when I became a Christian. For other people who don't resonate with our religion and our philosophy, is you are worth it as a human. And it doesn't matter what happened to you. It doesn't matter who said what. You deserve to feel good. It is your unalienable right to be healthy and joyful and prosperous in spirit, soul, and body. And know that you have the power to make those decisions. And first, you need to recognize that. And then if you've been guilty, like I, of self-destructive behaviors, you need to forgive yourself of that. And then forgive others and just watch what happens. Now you feel much more accountable. You feel much more empowered to make those decisions, because, Doc, I can't tell you how many people I know that are buying $100 organic dog food but going to McDonald's for themselves. Like, that's ridiculous.
Crazy? Yeah.
You're worth it. You're more important than your dog.
Yeah. And the other thing too, and I've heard you say this, is that, we're always going to be on the voyage of self-discovery and getting better and better, and try, even, with sports or whatever, just trying to tackle the mind to the next level, tackle this to the next level. And so when you're ready to take on that next level, it appears and it opens itself to you to do it. And so, taking some of the truths that we have in the book, and then, our goal is that, people will have it all completely, their book marked up and, just so that they can make it their own, because this is a journey, and we want, we're not done yet. We want to always grow and get better. When our people write us and they ask us certain questions, we look through those things and we research different things and we find out other things, or we adapt a detox that we're doing, because people ask a lot of questions all the time, and we're always in self-growth. And if we stop growing, then that means we're dead, because we always need to be growing. So we hope to use this book to help people get on that path to start. Yeah. To start growing, and to start, picking that low-hanging fruit that they have that's already there.
Yeah. So Mama Z, this is for you, because I know you're the crazy athlete of the group there. I'm not sure, Dr. Z, if you are not. Are you?
Not so much.
But he's good at volleyball.
All right.
I'm pretty athletic, but she takes fitness to another level.
Yeah. So I want to bring this lifestyle into play for some people, because when you're an athlete, when you're doing things that are extremely difficult at next level, I'm not talking about, a simple feat in fitness. If you're doing something that's very difficult, most people are like, wow, you must be really, really strong. You said, well, I trained for it, but where does most of it even start?
It all starts in the mind. It all starts in the mind. And, I had worked a job through college, and I was microfilming documents literally in the basement of a government building. And all I had was a boom box and my microphone machine and a developer in there. So I rented every books on tape, because back then it was on cassette tapes and we didn't even have a CD player. But every single one, just to try to see which places I could grow. And that helped me not just in my work, but that helped me with sports, because you have to tackle the mind before it comes out in the body. And, and it's really, I remember Norman Vincent Peale saying, throw your heart over the bar and your body and your mind and soul will follow. And one of the interviews was with a baseball athlete, and they were like, well, what if you would have missed? And he's like, well, I didn't even think of that. Their mind is so far beyond that. And so our minds have to be so far beyond where we're at right now in order to see what's next and what's coming and the next things that we're going to do and accomplish.
Yeah. And so to take this to the next level, and that's why I'm bringing this up, because my first conversation with Eric was this. I was getting ready to do an ultra marathon. Yep. Or no, it wasn't even ultra. It was an overnight 50-mile ruck is what I was going to do. And, after learning all about the essential oils and my wife having, tons and tons of oils, I said, well, what could I use? Because I know my mindset is already there. I know I'm there, and I know my nutrition is maybe not 100, but pretty spot on for this type of event. I'm like, what can I use to boost both my mind and actually change my physiology of my body in your world, in this essential oil world? So he gave me some cool, say, you need this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, put it out in a roller. And I tell you what, I've shared that recipe with dozens of athletes. I'm like, you need to listen to the episode, go get his stuff, because this stuff it was a game changer.
Absolutely.
And my buddy that was doing with me, I take it out, and he was 59. I was 38, or no, I was 39 at the time when we did it. And he's like, he started to like get down. I'm like, all right, John, here you go. And I would like rub the roller on him at like 4 a.m. or whatever it was. Be like, whoa, like, so adding to when your mind is getting or going well, and you add tools, nutrition, oils, this lifestyle, I mean, it's next level. It's like, you may be 100%, but you're really not. You still have more to go. And
it's like an unfair competitive advantage.
Yes, totally.
In a sense. Yeah, it's so available to everybody, and it's unfair that the stigma has really shunned natural therapies in a way where people are going towards their goop. It's like junk, these energy things that people are taking. It's poison. And so I know that there is a way, and there's a natural version of everything. And so I'm so glad to hear that. We actually haven't talked about your race since. That's awesome. And it is. Folks, there is a good solution out there that will completely keep you in alignment. And that's one thing too we've always battled, is we want to stay true to ourselves. A mutual friend of ours, Dr. Chris Zano, right? Yeah. Mr. America 1988, heard him speak, and we shared a stage a couple months ago. And he was talking about, you got to stop lying to yourself. You got to be in integrity, and you have to live the way that you need to live. And he was talking about success in business and stuff, but that's in health. Like, if you're trying to be a healthy person, if you strive to live a quote detox life, that includes everything, and there are no compromises. And the thing is that if you really hold yourself to that standard, like you reap unbelievable benefits, and then your body becomes very susceptible to things like essential oils, and you're like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
Well, and people ask all the time, they're like, well, you have 4 kids, and you're like, how do you find time to work out? And it's like, I have to have time to work out. Well, they're like, so you just feel like getting up at 4 o'clock every morning? I'm like, no, I don't always. And, but guess what? Like, I have to take good care of myself in order to take care of the rest of my family, to take care of the body that I've been given, and really to be able to thrive in the other areas. Because by the end of the day, you have every excuse under the sun not to work out if you have all these other things going on. So if you do get out there, and one of the essential oil blends that I love is eucalyptus, peppermint, and rosemary together. And there's been times in the car, like I have it in a little inhaler, and I'm like, on the way to the gym, and I'm like pepped up, ready to go. Or I have my diluted peppermint, and I'm like putting it on my chest, trying to open everything up, for my run and all of that kind of stuff. So it's like you come up with good techniques to like get yourself in the mindset. So, well, and then if you do that, then you're not missing the first 5-10 minutes of your workout while you're trying to like wake up, You've already done it before you're there.
I think that's so neat. I mean, I'm so grateful that I've been able to, learn so much from just for me, let alone the thousands of people that are listening and learning. I've had such a huge impact just in a very, such a short period of time. This is how many months? Not a couple months since the conversation, right? I think it's so, and I have not done the detox. I haven't been through the book yet, but this is something I think is worthwhile for me to see where I need to either add or take away certain things in my life where I can go, wow, what's next?
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I want to change gears for 1 second, because people, like we mentioned lifestyle a lot, and lifestyle's important. And we know this is people that live in this world, the 3 of us at the moment, that lifestyle is a leading cause of health and a leading cause of death, right? Both. So, and cancer is a huge, huge player in that. I know you have a lot of info on cancer and information on your sites. So can you get into a little bit of like what types of things, if someone wants to we'll say, avoid, not have to go down that road at all, or people that may be suffering with it? Like, what are some things that they can do?
One thing that we need for me, it was life-changing. It was this understanding. It's like an epiphany. Everything that we consume, everything that we put on our body, everything that we breathe will have, like you said, will give life or will give death. And the things that we do, I mean, including regular chiropractic care and exercise and prayer, meditation, and all that includes. And the first is you have absolute control over some things. Some things you don't. Like, you really don't have control over the air that you breathe when you leave your home. But when you're in your home, you got control over the air that you breathe. And so the more that you create an environment that is very healthy, the more that you educate yourselves on the things that are harmful, the more your body will respond. And it becomes very much addicting, where you really start being addicted to feeling good in a good way. And you become dependent on feeling good. And in our world, for us, the one thing that we started and we really focused on, of course, is nutrition. I think that's a given. I mean, I don't want to go too much into nutrition because you can get that information a lot of places. But one thing that people aren't talking enough about are the things that you're breathing, the things that you're putting on your skin. Especially women who walk out the door, the typical American woman or any woman that lives in any industrial country, with hundreds of chemicals that they just put on their skin. They're inhaling because of hairspray, their makeup and everything. And what that does, and Doc, and this is something that really got me, is when I started really diving deep in the metabolic function, I recognized that the number one cause of metabolic dysfunction is toxic overload. And that could be done through synthetic fragrances, synthetic food additives, and all the different things that we're putting. So a lot of people, you don't have to change your diet. Just start using good quality body and cleaning products, and you'll start to burn fat. You'll start to lose weight just by doing that alone. Right. You take the aerosols out of your home and your plugins, throw them away, and start diffusing essential oils. You will start to lose weight. You will start to fight disease. And that's just at a very basic cellular level, because we know that all these toxins produce an inflammatory response to the body. So that is my first challenge to us, myself included, is not to rest on our laurels and to do our very, very best to replace that bad stuff with the good.
Right. And one of the other low-hanging fruit is get rid of all that horrible hand sanitizer. It's horrible. It's what's caused superbugs and other things like that. You can easily make your own hand sanitizer spray with utilizing essential oils. We have recipes on our website at naturallivingfamily.com, making it super easy just to be able to do it in a healthier way. Because I can't, there's like an older lady in my chiropractic office this last week, and she was like, oh man, after sitting right here, and we were watching one of the old game shows because it was on, and this game show host was kissing everybody. And I mean, this is, I think, from the 70s. And she's like, oh my gosh, get some hand sanitizer out and get it all over your hands. And I was like, no, it's not. And then I started talking to her, and it's just the mindset just has to be a little different, because we're killing all these bugs off, but we need good bacteria and we need other things in our bodies, and that's killing the good and the bad off. So instead of like nuclear bombing approach on our hands and our bodies, really utilizing essential oils and other natural ways to keep our bodies and our life clean.
Well, and you know this, Josh, there's this gut skin brain connection, and people are, and this will trip you out. I mean, you're telling me I'm putting something on my skin and it could be linked to gut disorders and anxiety? Yes. Depression, acne, leaky gut, all the things that people are battling, psoriasis, eczema, can be linked to significant stress and panic. Why? Because these chemicals penetrate into your bloodstream, and they essentially create havoc in your body. Your body does not know how to respond to these chemicals. And so it
just gets so used to it, and you're almost dumb to it. So then when you detox off of it,
Yeah.
You won't be able to go into a restroom and have that thing go psh, psh, at you anymore. You're going to be like, I'm getting annihilated over here.
It's everywhere.
And so like,
our
walking in a mall, right? Past like one of those candle stores. You're like,
yeah, you can't go into like one of those big box stores because you get blown out. I have to go in the back way and, get to the pants and stuff section or order online.
This is the reason. This is the only, and this goes back to my public health 101 research stuff, like my training. This is the only logical explanation of why cancer, autism, autoimmunity, chronic disease has been skyrocketing and why we're in the position we're in today. Because our grandparents didn't deal with scented candles and scented soaps and all the different chemicals that we did. It's a relatively new phenomenon that our parents, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, this generation have ushered in, and now it's everywhere. And so that is the first line of defense that we're just trying to teach people with. And then they get some quick wins. They start feeling better, thinking better. Their libido returns. They sleep better. And then they're like, what else can I do? And then so for me, if anyone's looking to do a change, and this is more for the novice, the more for like, okay, I heard that gluten-free is good for me. What do I do? Like we're talking, people are wanting to do something for their health. This is a really easy, quick thing to do. Incorporate essential oils, use non-toxic products, throw away the bad stuff, your Clorox bleach and all that. You instantly start feeling better. And I call that the gateway to health. And now, once you start feeling better, you're going to want to exercise. You're going to want to eat better. You're going to want to meditate and pray and do the things that are really life-giving. But it's really hard, Josh. It's hard to tell someone, okay, here's the 15 things you do, go at it. And it starts with changing their diet and changing the things that they're addicted to. That's hard. And that's a hard change for people. But anyone can put 5 drops of lavender in their diffuser and call it a night. That's easy. That's cheap. And that's somewhat applicable for everyone on the planet. Yeah. So we want to get people addicted to feeling good again, addicted to being full of joy and happiness and loving themselves. And again, we're not essential oil, like we're not obsessed with them. I mean, they're part of what we do, but it's such a practical piece that
it's easy.
That's
so easy.
Like you're running, you're helping your friend on a major marathon race out in the wilderness, whatever y'all are doing, crazy mud runner stuff. And how easy is it? It's easy, it's quick, and get you started.
Man, it's not going to hurt you.
No,
and not putting crap into your system.
Right. Well, and people are like, oh, you give up all these like scented candle things. And I'm like, listen.
Yeah, I gave it with the headaches too.
Yeah. But you can do it easy. They're like, so you set up these diffuser things. And I'm like, well, this is the thing. So we have 3 or 4 on our main level. And I, for the day, based on what we're doing that day, I have a blend that I'll use, or I'll put a single oil in or whatever. And then I carry a pitcher and I fill up all the diffusers either the night before or that morning, and then just push the button on. And then at night, you just make them all match upstairs, and you make it easy so that it's attainable. And it's like, you're just going to do it. You'll go through the rooms, you rotate it. Cause we never want to go to the gym and do the exact same workout for 6 months. So we rotate what we do in order to keep it really effective and make it fun. And the kids, like, they even recognize, in their medicine cabinet, they have their little roll-on bottles, and even our kids will be like, oh, I really need the green one today, and, and it means something, and we have it, they're part of it, and they're part of doing that. And so they're incorporated in, everything we do as well.
Yeah. That's the next generation right there. That's the shift.
That's legacy. That's and Serena, you do a really good job in the book teaching about your food prep, because hey, here's the thing though, truthfully put, like, this isn't easy. This isn't meaning easy, quick fix. I'm going to go take a pill. I'm going to do this thing. Like, a lifestyle is a lifestyle, and it's worth it. The time, the energy, the money, because we know the opposite is cancer. The opposite is death. I mean, the truth of the matter is, unless we stop the trend, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women will die of cancer. And it's just a matter of when. And so when it comes to it, this is not a fast food mentality. It's a slow food mentality. It's giving you more enjoyment of what you're doing. So to say easy, yes, I guess it is kind of easy in the fact that it's not like you don't need a PhD, but it is something along the lines. This will take time. It will take energy, but there are certain things you could do. Like Sabrina just shared a little time-saving hack. Like time-saving hacks
There's
are
so many hacks.
Gold right now, because who has time? I mean, you're working moms, you're working dads, you're dual income families, or whatever it is that people are doing right now, us included. Like, who has time to grow all of our own food, make our own food? Like, no, we got to come up with really cool solutions. And I mean, you really, really did a good job at that. And see, that's really been on our mission, on our heart, to help make this very applicable to families, especially because you can do it.
Well, and one of the things with the prep is that when you think of more like an assembly line mentality, and I think that helps because then you kind of set up what you do because, you know, like we do a similar schedule every week with lots of flexibility in it. So, you know, like tonight is because it's a running night. All of our kids, we all run together. Our whole family runs together in a running club. And so we're going to do our taco night. But for the kids, they're going to do avocado tacos and nut tacos tonight. And then we've got a vegan taco dip that we'll do. And we've got all these different varieties within what we do for each night that we have a theme for. So on the weeks that we have more time, we're setting these things up, freezing things that we can while they're fresh and that kind of thing, and then taking them out the night before. And if we know one of us is traveling, then what we'll do is when we make 2 or 3 of our main courses up, we'll break them up into smaller things. So we'll have a full one, another full one, and then 3 smaller ones, and then freeze those things. That way they're all set, because when drive-thru is not an option, and it shouldn't be ever, then you think differently. You know, we don't microwave anything. So we prep and plan and thaw things out and do things, but it's part of the way that we look at stuff. So we're the whole thing. My favorite pastor always said, proper planning prevents poor performance, the 5 Ps. So if you're always planning, you know, plan your work and work your plan, then you're setting yourself up for success every single time.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And I want to bring up one other thing, because this was something that was important. And you mentioned it, Dr. Z, is with food. Was it, you know, we're in that topic. You mentioned bioactive compounds, and I thought it was a really neat word. Right. I don't really know exactly I have kind of an idea what it means, but you're saying this is like something that's going to be all over the place very soon. We're going to start hearing this word.
It boggles my mind that it hasn't hit mainstream yet. Researchers have been talking about bioactive compounds for more than a century. I mean, bioactive compounds are the plant-based chemicals that we also know as polyphenols, carotenoids, essential oils. These are the plant-based chemistry that modulates the metabolic function. They give you life. They give you health. They're rich in antioxidants. So the thing is, up until recently, we've been fixated as a culture all over the world, essentially, in diets with macro essential nutrients. Like you need to live. You need to consume fats, proteins, and carbs, vitamins and minerals to live, right? If you don't, you die. Like they're, quote, essential to life. But there are non-essential nutrients, and those are the bioactive components. And researchers have shown a diet replete in bioactive components will not give you health. You'll be sick. You'll be alive, but you won't have a robust immune system. You won't be able to fight off all these toxins that are somewhat inevitable if you live outside in nature, or you go outside and breathe toxic air, or you can't get the best pure water food all the time. Who can nowadays? So what we're trying to do is trying to awaken people to like, hey, let's not be obsessed with the amount of carbs, calories, fats, and proteins anymore. Let's look at the nutrition label insofar as like what it actually is in the ingredient list here. And then let's consume bioactive rich foods, which a lot of are plant-based, fruits and vegetables and healthy, proper grains. There are improper, and I say improper as in they've been genetically modified, or they've been hybridized, or they're full of glyphosate. But if you eat the right foods, beans and legumes and nuts and wild caught fish and things, like you will have a robust immune system that can fight and prevent virtually any disease. And it'll help you. And we really are focusing on food freedom again. Like we were talking before we got on the show here, is like, when did eating an apple become bad for us?
Yeah, right.
I mean, people are freaked out. Oh, the amount of carbs. Like, I just consumed a week's worth of carbs by this apple. Like, what happened when, again, being Sicilian, my ancestors consumed grapes in abundance and fruits, and, they ate wheat. They didn't die. I mean, what happened? We kind of explain this, like, what happened to grains? Like, we explain how to navigate the proper food. And it's not even about ratios. It's about really going back to common sense. So yeah, bioactivity is something that we're going to be hearing a lot more about. And essentially all it is that all the nutrients and all the things that we need to keep us healthy and strong, we could find in food.
Yeah. Which, I mean, food is our medicine. I mean, if you want, right? Is it not?
Yeah.
Right. And those plants and vegetables don't necessarily have a nutrition label.
No. And I love that. And actually, I got to use that, because if Hippocrates, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Bioactives. The bioactive components of food are medicine. That's exactly how if Hippocrates were alive today, he would be quoting and he'd be referring to that. Not just food, because it's not all food. It's like what's in the food. So once you start diving deep, like, what are the antioxidant rich foods and what are the foods that really give that life? That's really like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, and nowadays, I mean, if we went back maybe even 30 years, but we'll say like hundreds of years, food would, and I think we even had this conversation the first time, food was food back then.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't have to think, am I eating organic? But there's no such thing. It was either food or you weren't eating.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So this might blow your mind, but when I was in college, I took chemistry for fun and made it an honors course, and I had to do a project. And so I did, my dad worked as an analytic chemist and an analytics, he was a scientist. And so I did 100 hours of research on whether the cereal companies lie about how much iron is in cereals.
Oh, yeah.
So I took all of these name brand cereals, which right now, I mean, if you go down the cereal aisle, I just call it the sugar aisle, because I mean, when you read actually the labels, it's just all sugar. So what we did is we pulverized it, used distilled water in the bags that we had, and hyper-powered magnets in the bags. And it literally took out the Fe+2, which is the iron filings. That's the non-digestible. This is the stuff that you poop out. And literally measured all of that, and then measured the soluble iron as well. And it was, crazy, because number one, they did not equal what was on the label. And number two, most of the stuff that was actually in the cereal was the stuff that you could pull out with hyper-powered magnets.
It's the stuff that they shaved off the machines.
Right. Literally. So what that showed me was a lot. That was just iron. How many other things, were people trying to prove on the nutrition labels when they started making nutrition labels, and then really started to make it, as our friend Robin Openshaw calls it, Frankenfood. Yeah. And I mean, it really is an art form that they have going on there with those nutrition labels. Truly.
Yeah, I'll tell you, just because you're chemistry, so I have to just share this. I don't think I've ever shared this on the air. My dad told me to take science classes when I was in undergrad. I was a competitive alpine skier, and I'm like, science? Who needs science? So I ended up taking an environmental chemistry class, and we had, I guess, the guy that taught the class must have been like anti, like big government, big food, big food. And we dissected what was in a hot dog.
Wow.
I couldn't even look at a hot dog for like 8 years.
No. My dad worked for a hot dog company. My dad did a lot of manual labor in his day. He said you wouldn't eat a hot dog if you knew what was in it.
Yeah. That was it. We figured it out. Went through all like the body parts and things.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
yes.
And kids, and that's on every child menu of every restaurant in America. Right? Yeah, I don't care if you had fine dining. You always got your little whatever, chicken nuggets, hot dog options. I mean, they just let's give kids the refuse. And that's something that, folks, we just got to do too. Let's protect our kids, because we're raising the next generation, not only of consumers, but we're raising the next generation of voters. We're raising the next generation of CEOs and politicians and everyone. So that's something to consider too. You leave the legacy of health. You leave the legacy of self-love and respect. and the kids will always choose to do what's right if they're raised in the right way.
That's so true. That's so true. So true. So let's finish here for a second, because I think this has been an awesome episode so far. And I know you have a lot of really cool giveaways, gifts, things. I know we have your the master class. People can get that right away. They can go right to your website and get that, right?
Yep. We have a free screening. It's a 10-part video masterclass that you can actually watch for free. And that's at essentialoilsforabundantliving.com. Or again, you can always go to naturallivingfamily.com and just get plugged in and ask. Say, hey, I want the masterclass. But there will be all kinds of stuff out there. If you buy the book, if you go to essentialoilsdiet.com, we have it's a really sweet book bonus gift. And what it is it's a collection of videos that we filmed to help you learn how to shop, learn how to exercise, learn how to cook. And we also have a group coaching program. It's a 60-day community group that we're inviting you to. And we want to walk you through. We want to have you have the support to go through the material in the book, but in a way that you're going to be able to succeed. We brought a lot of people through this, and we just want to give you that extra little love and attention. So those are two cool gifts that people can get. But yeah, for sure, you got to get the book first, or you're not going to benefit from the coaching, because you got to get the foundation knowledge.
Yeah.
But that's something that we're making live immediately.
And didn't you say 60 days has something to do with creating lifelong habits?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right.
All right, people, you're paying attention, I hope.
It's not 1 week, change my world. Give me 2 months. Give Mama Z 2 months, and your life will be changed forever.
Yes.
Listen, I haven't taken the courses, and they're changing my life months ago. So I'm all in. I hope all of you are all in with Dr. Z and Mama Z. Make sure you do head over there to their website, get the book, get the freebies also. My goodness. I mean, they should be charging. Honestly, they should be charging for them. They're probably looking at me like, no, we're giving it away. They want to have a huge impact on your health, on global health. So get over there. And you can also head over to lifestylelocker.com/Dr. Z and Mama Z. That'll be in the show notes. So at all kidding aside, both of you, I appreciate our time together. This is an amazing conversation, and I do know that it is not the last time. So I appreciate you both.
Love it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Really appreciate it, man. You're the best.
Okay, I know that was my longest episode ever, but I really hope you loved it. We just kept on going. So much great content. So I apologize if you had to pause in the middle, but I really don't apologize, because you got some awesome stuff coming to you, right? If you go ahead, there's a lot of gifts. You got to go to the essentialoilsforabundantliving.com. There's those video master classes. Go to naturallivingfamily.com for pretty much everything. The essentialoilsdiet.com, which is their book. And you head over to lifestylelocker.com/Dr. Z and Mama Z. And all of the details will be there as well. So if you just scroll down wherever you're listening and look into the show notes, all of the links will be there for you to click on to make sure that you can connect and stay connected actually to both Dr. Eric Zielinski and Sabrina Zielinski. They are fantastic human beings. I urge you to pay attention, to learn from them, to get their books. They're phenomenal people. So without keeping you on much longer, I appreciate you. And if you haven't head over to iTunes yet, give us a 5-star review. Our viewers love that we get to get those, but also iTunes loves when they see those, because you know what? If these shows are helping impact people's health and lives, the 5-star review helps get it to more people. So thanks again. Have a great day, evening, or night, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.